Hi everyone, welcome to the Sunday live stream here live from Tenby, Wales. If I'm panting, it's because I'm out of breath because we've had really bad weather. We've got trees down, we've got thunderstorms, we've had power cuts. It's welcome to Britain. This time of the year is always brilliant. Tonight's guest, I've got Richard from the Vinyl Tap House, and I got Daryl from
Howdy.
Northern Vinyl Guy. So it's just us three at the moment. Rob may be joining us on later on. I think he's still, I know he doesn't drink, but hungover from Darkness last night, which he watched. So, yeah. So I think he's got to do some chores, but he will be with us going forward. So, okay. So tonight we are doing favorite songs. A few weeks ago, we did favorite albums and kind of artists, that kind of thing. So I thought it'd be a good idea this week to do favorite songs. Now, this has been a lot harder than I thought it would be to start off with. Maybe I should have done a part 1, 2, 3, and 4 on this one because I was going through my selection. I was like, how do you pick this? This is kind of impossible. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Were you going through kind of selection going, oh, good God, why has he picked this theme?
It was tricky for me because there were like certain bands where there was no way I was going to be able to pick a favorite song from that band or this other one. So it was easier if a band didn't have like a huge discography or something. That helped a lot, but it was tricky.
Yeah. Daryl?
Yeah, no, for me it was tricky because I want to go with, is it the favorite because of the lyrics? Is it my favorite because there's a cool guitar solo? Is it my favorite by my favorite band of all time? Like, I had a hard time because there's lots of songs that, well, I don't necessarily think the album is the greatest. It's a good song on that album, right? So I struggled figuring out what I wanted to show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going through and I was like, oh shit. Why have I selected this one? So yeah. But anyway, thanks for joining us, all three people watching. But we will kind of so this week, guys, what kind of things have you been up to? I know Richard done. How is that response going to your 1 year anniversary? Because you've had a few on there now.
It's actually been pretty good. I want to say it's up to like 10 or 11 responses that I've added to the list. There were a couple that I couldn't really add to the list because they were embedded within another video that the person did, but that's okay. But yeah, it's gone really well. What I'm having a harder time doing is like, okay, where do I go for here? How do I start season 2?
I wanted to do yours. I'm having a really hard time though because I haven't specifically purchased albums that people have suggested necessarily, but it's more of like I bought an album because a couple of times you've shown this band, well, not a couple of times, many times you've shown this band on like your channel, and I went into a music store and I was like, oh, they have this here. I'm gonna grab it. So I
That's
haven't
fair.
purchased anything officially that somebody's suggested, but I'm working on it.
No hurry. It'll be up for a while.
So yeah. So Daryl, what have you kind of been up to? Any threads this week, Mick? I'm trying to catch up on all YouTube this week because
Before we get started here, I got to say that I'm trying to be humble about this, but I'm really excited because Canada actually, for the first time ever, won 2 football matches on European soil back to back last week. Trying to be humble, so I'm not going to say who they defeated.
come on, mate.
But
Go on.
we are on a roll. We are on a roll going into the World Cup, I got to say.
Yeah, Richard, they beat Wales.
It happens.
Actually, to the point where the manager of Wales wants a rematch at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
But as for threads, I haven't started any. I'd like to do a few of them.
Mhm.
Wednesday, I dropped my Juno Awards video.
That was cool. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So that's going to be kind of part of a series, hopefully. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Juno Awards, for those that aren't sure, just Canada's version, I guess, of the Grammys. Yeah, just
Cool, mate.
some
And
of
then
our artists that have won.
And then you did say you're going to do one maybe that haven't won that people don't know about either.
Yeah, the ones that lost. So actually, what's really funny is you got some big names that won it, but they've
Yeah.
also lost them too
Hmm.
over time. So it's kind of neat.
Be cool to see. Cool to see. And
Mhm.
and what you made a comment was that I didn't realize that that female was the first one to win the Juno Awards that you were talking about. Went gold. First person to go gold. I can't remember her name. She's been around
Oh, Anne
forever.
Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be somebody else, obviously, but obviously it was her. And
Yeah, there was one that won the very first one. She's a French singer named Jeanette Reno, but I don't have anything of hers in my discography. So I went with Anne Marie, who was the next big one. And she like cleaned house all through the 70s.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to that one. Right, we'll get cracking. I'll kick things off this week. And we'll go country pop to start things off. Yeah, why the hell not? So,
Do it.
yeah, why not? And it's something different. I'm not starting with the Stereophonics, but there may be something down the road. So, I think I showed this when I done Rob's live stream about 2 months ago, and I think I've showed this channel before. I'm in the process of collecting all the albums from this artist, and this is Zach Brown Band. Very poppy country. I like his music. It's kind of down to earth. You can put this on a Sunday morning. Another kind of on them kind of records. And the one off you, and it's not chicken fried for everybody says. It's not that cheesy one. It is Colder Weather. And he's talking about he's leaving his wife. He's hitting the road. And she's like, you're never home. You'll always be a gypsy. You're always traveling, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it's cool. It's good. It is a greatest hits. Which won't surprise anybody coming from this channel. But there's also some other good ones on here. But I picked Colder Weather because I discovered this actually. This was the first ever album I bought when I was recollecting vinyl again. So this was in a lockdown, my first ever lockdown purchase. So
Really? Now that is one that I gotta get. I don't mind Zach Brown Band, and I actually like Florida Georgia Line too.
yeah,
Kind of a similar vibe there. If you're not into straight up country, that's good. That's good stuff. Yeah.
so they got some good songs. I've started collecting the albums now. But if anyone wants to get started, you can try and get that. That's gone up. I think I said last time it's like 600 quid to get. It's gone nuts. But yeah, try and get it on CD.
Yeah, that's like $1,000 in Canada.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I every time I showed the video when I was doing kind of what I picked up, and everybody goes, where did you get that Zach Brown Band greatest hits from? I'm like, I got it from Amazon in lockdown. My first ever record I bought. So I don't know. You couldn't get it on Amazon, but you're paying a lot of money. So that was my first one. Vibes. Hi gents. Hey mate, how's it going? You all right?
Hello.
Right. Okay. I think it's time for a drink, so we'll go to the tab house. Richard.
The tap house is drinking water today because I'm just, yeah. As you know, I'm doing this live stream and another one later, and I'm like, whoa, I gotta pace myself. On the tail of you doing country pop, I think I'll do something Americana-ish.
Yeah.
So this is an artist I became familiar with way back in the early 80s. He had a massive hit on the radio called Jack and Diane.
Nice.
And that is not the song I chose.
Oh, right.
So there. Short story, I saw him open for Heart. And in my opinion, he blew Heart off the stage because at the time Heart was touring an album that was not all that strong. And the sound mix was terrible for Heart. I was like, why they? So anyway, talking about John Cougar Mellencamp. I think that's the first album he used the Mellencamp name and stop being John Cougar. I love this album in general just because it was kind of a start, a change in direction for him going into more of the grassroots Americana, support the farming culture because he's from Indiana. So Farm Aid was kind of big around this era. And the song of all the songs is not a big song. Scarecrow is a very, it's a strong pro farming song, but the song I chose is called Minute by Minute, or Minutes to Memory. Sorry, Minute by Minute. That would be Doobie Brothers. Wrong group. Yeah, Minutes to Memories. And I love the song because it really talks about, and it still has that Americana farm, the problems that were going on in the farming industry at the time. Talks about how, things change minute by minute. You are just 1 minute you're high, the next minute you're low. Days turn to minutes and minutes to memories. So it's just kind of like how over time, things change. You might be riding a high, the next thing you're in a crushing defeat. Super strong song. I love singing. It's one of those songs I enjoy singing. I love listening to it. And if I were to say, pick an album from John Cougar, and you're like, I don't know much about him. Start with his early stuff, but definitely get to this. This is probably one of his strongest albums, in my opinion.
I was just about to ask you then, where do you start? And you just answered my question.
That or the American Fool album, which has Jack and Diane, Hurt So Good, all of those. And then, any of that of his 80s stuff. The one with Paper and Fire, and I can't think of the name of that album offhand. That's
not the Lonesome Jubilee, is it?
The what?
Lonesome Jubilee. I don't think it's that one, eh?
That's it. Yeah, it is. It's Lonesome Jubilee. It's the one with Paper and Fire and a couple of others. And he started incorporating.
Check It Out is probably my favorite song off.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a really amazing guitar solo on that song. I don't know. There's something about that one too.
Over here in Britain, Jack and Diane are obviously big, and if I'm being perfectly honest, that's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That would not surprise me one bit. I think he had a much bigger following in North America than probably anywhere else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And his albums are all over too. Like it's like if you want to go into that discography, right? He would have like 2 or 3 singles that went big time off of one album, and then 2 or 3 from another, and then 2 or 3 from another. But then it's funny because there's a couple of songs that are duds pretty much on all the albums too. So, some people would look at John Mellencamp as in, I want to be a completionist because it's like you said, great Americana music. But others are like, you know what? I only want his top 40 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he has a couple of greatest hits albums that I know of. I think I have one just because, and just he has so many, I would say, that were like top 40 or better across his entire discography. I don't think he has a dud album until like the later years, where I don't think his music is as strong as what it was back in the day.
There was the one that he did in the early 90s. I can't remember the name of it now. I had it on CD, and then after that it kind of tailed off.
Yeah, that's pretty much the case.
I forget the name of it now. It only had one main hit on it, and then it went down. The heck was the name of that album? I don't think
I have anything after Lonesome. Well, no, I take that back. I found a couple of his later stuff that were more storyteller type albums. But I can't even think of those off the top of my head. So my memory is like right now.
He's not one of those artists where the album title is like one word. He's always got some long album titles.
Or unusual, kind of like, what does that have to do? A Scarecrow goes well with the album, and like Lonesome Jubilee, huh? Where did that come from? But who knows?
Boz is saying the vinyl channel. Hello, everyone. Hiya, mate.
Hello, Boz.
Right, we're going to go as north as possible now.
So we're gonna go as north as possible, and I just, I know you didn't go with your favorite band right off the get, but I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Might as well
Okay.
just get it out of the way. But this one here was actually VCLT.
Would you like a drum
Um,
roll, Daryl? Here you go. Oh dear.
This is actually VCLT though. I do have 2 copies of this Diamond Sun album. This is the one. He doesn't have a channel, but Tim Brownrigg goes on Rob's stream in the comments every now and again, and he sent me this VCLT. He's like the king of getting autographs at concerts. So this is an autographed copy of Diamond Sun, Glass Tiger. I don't know if it's my favorite Glass Tiger album, but there's definitely my favorite song on here. The second track on side 1 is actually called Far Away From Here, which is kind of I don't even want to call it a B-side. I don't know if it ever showed up on a B-side, but
That's the one he sent you.
when I graduated high school, before I graduated high school,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I didn't want to go to a college or university that was close to my parents. And I had actually calculated the distance to the farthest one I could afford to go to. So that song Far Away From Here kind of reminds me of trying to leave and get as far away from the place that I lived in for whatever reason. It's not that I didn't like living in the town I lived in and all that kind of stuff. But those of you that have ever lived in a small town will know that there's stuff that goes on in small towns, and it's not the most positive situation for some people. But there's going to be another song that I'm going to talk about later on. I'm going to kind of come back to this maybe, but I'm in a situation now where I hope nobody from my work is listening to this, or but at some point I would like to leave and get a job somewhere else where it's not so secluded and isolated. And I think Far Away From Here is kind of a set of lyrics that kind of resonates with me to that extent, based on trying to get away from things. Not that my life is awful or anything. It's just I want to move closer to my family and things like that, and it would be nice to get out at a certain point, right? So it resonates with me. And this was one of the cool VCLT gifts that I ever received, was an autographed copy by 3 members of the band. Cool. And if I could ever get to see Glass Tiger, I would. If you're not familiar with them, Canadian 80s, early 90s pop, soft rock. I don't know what you would call it, but and then recently they came back. They've got a couple of albums recently, an EP and a Christmas album they did in 2020 and 21. So cool stuff. Check it out. Not going to say much more about Glass Tiger. If you follow my channel, you'll know Glass Tiger is my favorite Canadian band. So there we go. Got to get that one out of the way.
Right, let's go to the comments real quick. So Boz is saying the best I could do from 1997 is one of them greatest hits.
That's what I went to look, and there it is. So I do have that one, but it's on CD.
Okay.
That's good.
And he's also saying, Daryl, love Glass Tiger, have that album, and I think one other one. So
I had that. I don't know if I have it anymore. The Glass Tiger albums has kind of the orangish cover.
Yeah, so that one's the Thin Red Line.
That one.
And then this one that I showed is Diamond Sun. And then they did one in 1990, 91. That one's a little harder to get. It's one I had to order it from there's only 2 pressings. One's a European pressing and one's a Spanish pressing. It's called Simple Mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they had a single that I know it hit at least the northern part of the United States, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me.
Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone.
That one. Don't forget me when I'm. Yeah, that one.
I'm trying to get Chris. I'm trying to get Chris to like this band because I want him to spend more money.
Doesn't everybody does.
Join the party. Spend your entire bank account. Go for it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Rhino has been delivered, but for some reason it's gone to my mum's house.
How the hell did that happen?
I must have inputted it wrong. I don't know, but she's coming down to see me on Tuesday, so there's a video coming. Vibes. I've heard of Glass Tiger. What else? Hang on 2 secs. And This Is Your Life. Good track.
Oh yeah, no, that's a really good track. Yeah,
So if
I
nobody's
forgot all
checked out,
about that one.
yeah, if nobody's checked out this person's YouTube, go and check him out because I saw a short they did, and by the looks of it, he's built like a shed out the back where he's got a music room. I think it's epic. I'm thinking about doing it. Yeah, so good channel, mate. So there's your recommendation for this week. Okay, Terry, Don't Forget Me was a minor hit in the UK.
Oh, it was cool. That's good to know.
I wouldn't have thought
Which is-
Glass Tiger made it that far. That's great.
Yeah. And his real name is Spencer. So, hey, Spencer. So, there we go. Go and check him out. Good channel. We enjoy it. Right. Okay. Let's do Britain, shall we?
Okay.
Maybe a one-hit wonder for most people, but I really like this band. And if I can get it out, that's what she said. It's Razorlight.
Ooh, I like Razorlight.
Daryl, have you heard of Razorlight?
No, I thought it was going to be Stereophonics. There's only one song by Stereophonics I know. That became big here, I think.
Razorlight were big in the early 2000s over in Britain. So they did songs like Golden Touch. The big one in America was called America. But they kind of like the early 2000s kind of indie British band. It's the only way I can put it.
I'm going to put this into my phone so I don't forget.
Go and check them out. Listen to the song America, Golden Touch. But my favorite one is In the Morning. In the morning, I know I'm going to be all right. Yeah. So that's my favorite one from Razorlight. I love that song. And this is the best of, because I was going to collect the albums, but as I was going through Apple Music, I was listening to them, and I was thinking, there's a lot of fillers here, a lot of fillers. So I thought, and then when I saw this on Amazon, this was like £15. So I was like, this will do me. So yeah, In the Morning is my favorite one. Razorlight, British band, big in the early 2000s, kind of drifted off after then. No, I don't know if there's any new stuff coming out that just came on black vinyl. I don't know if there's any new stuff coming out at the moment, but anybody from across the pond, well, Richard's heard of him because he's pretty much British at this point. But if you haven't heard of Razorlight, go and give it a stream, go and give it a listen, and it's really, really cool. So
they are definitely good. They did maybe 1 or 2 tours of the US, and I happened to see them here in Denver in a very small venue that holds like maybe 200 standing, packed, rammed. Interesting story though. I can't remember who opened. I remember the opener was fantastic. Razorlight comes out, and 3, maybe 4 songs in, the lead singer walks off the stage and left. And that was it. And the show was over.
maybe you have to wait for the line.
What the hell happened? I got the rest of the band to autograph my CD, which I still have, I think. Yeah. But they were saying something along the lines of stage fright. I'm like, I felt like saying, dude, you played stages at Reading Festival. What? You're afraid of 200 people that are probably standing like this, like, who the hell is this band?
Yeah.
Not me. I was like, oh, I'll have the song. But
what kind of music is it? Just like straight up like rock music?
I'm gonna go indie kind of rock. Maybe I'm trying to think anybody else that's kind of. Maybe you could put in kind of rock popish. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was of its time, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I would call it alternative with kind of a pop flavor. Yeah,
I'm gonna give that one a stream because I'd like that.
Yeah, you would. I think you would. The first album's actually quite good. I can't think what it's called.
What was I saying? I have not heard of Razorlight. Go and check them out, mate. Spencer's saying America's great track. Great voice, Chris. Yes, absolutely. Right. Okay, Evening Gents. Razorlight started off really strong with their first 2 albums, but they
Yeah.
didn't pay them much attention after that. Still need to watch the new documentary about them.
Reconciling? Reconciling. I didn't know that. Well, I knew they broke up. I didn't know they were reconciled. Really?
Yeah, Terry said America was a number 1 in 2006 in the UK. Yeah, I thought it was around that early kind of time.
And I think I saw them in 2000. Yeah, around then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
2010, I switched from FM radio to top 40 and started listening to all 70s, 80s stuff. So I lost touch within the new stuff coming back out then. Yeah, I think a lot of people did. And Evening Gentlemen, John Barrow of Razorlight is widely regarded as one of the biggest in music.
Oh, another one for the wanker list. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Rob, if you're watching, add that one, mate.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Jack, I would probably agree with you given my experience of seeing them, where it's kind of like, where the dude literally walked off the stage through the audience onto the tour bus and he was gone. I'm just like, what the this is strange.
But I do like
for me, should we do you know what? I'm gonna do this one. So this is British. It is late 80s, 90s. When did this come out? Hang on a minute. 1990 this came out. I remember this song coming on MTV and I was immediately hooked. And not only did it become my favorite song by them, it pretty much sold the fact I was going to buy anything they did. And they did 3 albums. I have all 3. I had them on CD back in the day, and then they finally got reissued. And I'm talking about the Sundays. Sunday, it's like a 3 or 4 piece. Hang on a minute, let me look. 4 piece. Guitar, bass, drums, and the voice of one Harriet Wheeler, who has an amazing voice. Very distinct, very interesting. On their last album, I think it's on their last album, Blind, the Sundays did a cover of Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones, and I consider it the best cover ever of that song that I've ever heard. But the song off of this was Here's Where the Story Ends. And it's one of those kind of bleak, stark videos of just like, rolling English countryside, bleak weather, black and white, if I remember correctly. It just sets an atmosphere that's just that sort of, growing up in England, and it's just dreary and and it's reflected not only in the song, the atmosphere, the video, and the lyrics. You talk about that where it's, England, miserable weather. Yeah. So it's renowned for miserable weather. But yeah, 3 albums. This one is just solid all the way throughout. Skin and Bones, Here's Where the Story Ends. Can't Be Sure was another single off of this. Yeah. So Harriet Wheeler, The Sundays, Here's Where the Story Ends. Love that song. Love that band.
So
and I have no idea what they're doing. They just after that last album, they've done nothing and just kind of like disappeared off the face of the earth, which is sad but true.
It's funny about that Wild Horses cover. That I actually heard the Sundays version of that before I heard the Rolling Stones one.
So did I. Right. I was like, wow, this is a great song. I thought they had written it.
I did too.
Yeah. The same thing happened to me, and I was just almost taken aback. I was like, wait. And then I heard the Rolling Stones song, and I just kind of went, eh.
Yeah.
The Sundays did it better.
Yeah, they did a really good job of it for sure. I can't remember. I don't know if it was featured in maybe a soundtrack or something. Maybe that's why I heard it, but I heard it.
It could be. I don't know how I heard it. I know I heard it on that album, on their last one called Blind.
So Terry's saying plenty of competition. I think he's talking about Razorlight. There was at that time, early 2000s. Yeah. You had
bands like Arctic Monkeys and Feeder and everybody else that was rolling out.
You had Embrace, you had the Coral, you had so many coming through. It was ridiculous. But yeah, you are right, Terry. There was a lot. Right. We'll go to polar bear country now. We'll look up the down.
Speaking of polar bears, we didn't have any polar bears, but it is actually bear season up here. And at about 2 o'clock in the morning, about 3 nights ago, there was a black bear going through my yard, knocked over our garbage can, grabbed 3 bags of garbage out of the garbage can, and ripped it all to shreds by my shed. I was so mad. I got up at 7 a.m. and had to clean up stinky, rotten garbage out of my yard.
Oh.
But they're getting all their food, I guess they gotta survive somehow. All right, up next, Richard and I were talking about this before the show, so this is the big one. If you want to show yours, Richard, depending on what song I choose.
Okay.
But
I'll pull it forward.
Speaking of plenty of competition, when we talk about Bruce Springsteen, which is my next artist up,
Yeah, I'll grab
could have
it.
went with Born to Run. Could have went with Born in the USA. I could have went with the Nebraska album. But the more and more that I listen to this next one, this album here from 1987, which is the Tunnel of Love album, it's becoming my favorite Bruce Springsteen album. And my favorite song is on side 2, and it's a song called One Step Up. So I don't know if that's the one you chose, Richard, but One Step Up is my favorite song by Bruce Springsteen.
It's not. So
was it that one? It's a great song.
There's another one.
Now here's the thing. If you read the lyrics to that song, I mean, it's a complete breakup song. Like he's going through a tattered marriage and a tattered relationship. But I don't look at the song and go, this is a breakup song or a broken marriage song. There's some value, I think, to that lyric, especially the first set of lyrics that's in that song that kind of relates to the world, I guess, that we live in today, where it's almost like you finally get ahead and then here we are moving back. So when I hear the song, and I love Bruce's more mellow stuff, don't get me wrong, I love Born to Run and I love those arena rock songs that he does and that kind of stuff, but because I was in high school in the 90s, and I know this is 1987, but things like Streets of Philadelphia, Brilliant Disguise, One Step Up, those songs, which are a little more chill in the Bruce discography, that's kind of where I'm at with it. And I just think that his song, his music, doesn't matter if it's his 70s music or his current music. It's so relatable that you could literally twist the lyrics a little bit to make it relate to current things that are going on. And I think that that's what that One Step Up does. As soon as I heard it come on, I was like, man, this is an amazing song.
Cool.
So One Step Up, Bruce Springsteen.
Brilliant. So on you, the vinyl narrative said Tunnel of Love is incredible.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a criminally underrated Springsteen album. Yeah. Criminally underrated.
Totally agree with that.
And Spencer saying, you said, I remember Chris talking about Bruce. I only know Born in the USA, Philadelphia. Maybe I need to listen to more of him. I'm a bit uneducated when it comes to Bruce. Now, I was until Rob kind of got me into the album Nebraska, and I've started collecting the albums from there. A good channel to watch would be David Atkinson. He's actually dedicated a whole video ranking Bruce Springsteen, where to start if you're just starting off a collection. So check out, his name is David Atkinson. Really good YouTube channel. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, they're flying through. Hang on. Can't keep up. Okay, not sure my favorite song from The Boss, but the album I listened to the most in the Sega sessions. What a band named him. Yeah.
I've not heard that one.
Yeah, no, the E Street Band, his backing band is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Boz is saying, yeah, Tunnel of Love could be my favorite of his 2 great album. Hang on. Trying to go as fast as I can, yeah. If you love Tunnel of Love, a more modern album I recommend that sounds kind of similar is Sam Fender's People Watching, heavily influenced by The Boss. That is on my list to listen to. I haven't got around to it yet. And Uneducated, yeah. So have a look at David Atkinson. Check out Rob's channel as well because he does a lot of that. Mr.
Definitely
Beer.
anything about one of the things that fascinates me about Bruce Springsteen, the more I learn about him, the more I kind of get into his music. You could talk to 10 different people, they will say 10 different albums are their favorite of his discography. That's, I would say that's prevalent. Everybody's just kind of like, I like this one for this reason. I like that one for this reason.
When I was growing up, you had Philadelphia came in 1994, which came off the film Philadelphia with Tom Hanks. So I knew that song.
Yeah.
I knew, and I had the greatest hits on CD. And I remember my favorite song was Atlantic City. For some reason, it just grabbed me. And then obviously Born in the USA was a big one as well. Okay, Alex, hello, mate. For me, it's Jungle Land. Nothing beats that sax solo.
And that's true.
Hey, Chris, you would love Sam Fender. Yes, yeah, I remember when he first came out, his a couple of singles, and they were pretty cool. I was listening to in the car, but I've never really got into him, so maybe I should. And he's from Newcastle, where David Atkinson is from as well. So, favorite Boss song is Sandy. Right. Richard, sorry, I lost track then. Right, mate, are we going to carry on the Bruce train here, or?
Oh, why not? Now, this is what's interesting. I got into Bruce Springsteen around the time Born in the USA came out. So it's like, wow, this is a great album. Da, 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 da. I knew that the themes were dark, but yeah, that was my favorite. Then The River came out. That was my favorite. Then this came out. I think this came out after The River, if I'm not wrong. This one, I'm not going to say it stopped me in my tracks, but it quickly became my favorite Bruce Springsteen album. Even back then, I had it on CD and always gravitate to the title track. I love the title track, Tunnel of Love. Musically, it just has that perfect vibe, and it has that come on down into that tunnel of love, and that big, the band comes in, and it just it's one of those songs where you just go, oh, this is so good. So yeah, definitely my favorite track. Brilliant Skies is on here too. I could make a vote for that being my favorite Bruce Springsteen song too. So they're both on this one. So yeah, I'll make that one.
The intro to Tunnel of Love is fantastic. It's so subtle how it builds. It's a really good song. Yeah,
100%. Totally agree.
Boz is saying 10th Avenue Freeze Out is my favorite song of his. I have a couple of 45s of that song. So cool. I've missed the comment. I know I have. Hang on. Give me 2 secs. So Spencer's asking, where are the other two gents from? So America, Canada.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, we all kind of met off Rob from Northern Revolutions on live streams and stuff, and we just connected. And Richard's kind of hasn't got much choice these days. He's part of the show, and I grab a load of guests every week, try and get somebody on every week, so that kind of thing. Pretty excited for next week because we got the Vinyl Narrative who's in the chat today, so that should be pretty cool next week. We'll have to come up with a theme, Rich. I've got nothing yet. Right. Okay, let's have a quick look. Okay, my turn.
Yep.
Okay, we'll stick with Bruce then.
Fair enough.
And it's not Nebraska.
Is it his greatest hits?
No. Well, no. He's such a dick. No, it's not.
Thank you.
It's this one.
Lost in.
Yeah, this is an amazing kind of. So this is Lost Tracks. Lost and Found. He in lockdown, all the albums that he didn't release, all the singles he didn't release for the albums because they didn't make the albums. He's put it through kind of a 2 LP set, and I think there's an 8 or 9 LP box set that I really want to get, but the prices are just insane at the moment. I'll show you the inside. There he is. with his guitars locked down. So I'm in the process of collecting all his albums, like I said. So I thought I'd keep it going with Bruce. And my favorite song on here is on side C, and it's called "You're Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone." So very Nebraska kind of song that could be in Nebraska. It's very cool. If nobody's heard of it, go and check it out. I play that song more than any, and I found myself, if I'm being honest, lads, I play this album more than Nebraska now. So
is that song like just pretty much him, an acoustic singing, and that's it, or is there more to it?
There's a slightly more to it. Probably that's why it didn't make the album. I think maybe it was a bit not acoustic enough. But I love it. It's fantastic. It's a brilliant song. So yeah. So there you go. That's it's not too far tonight. We went through 3 times.
Bruce Springsteen round.
So yeah. Okay, I think I called up in the chat. Yeah, yes, I am. Good. Right. Okay. Daryl.
Okay. All right. Well, this next one. Now, I've often been crapped on for liking this album. I don't know why. I think what it is I heard this album. It was the first time I heard this band, which is going to seem kind of strange. Now, you're either you like them in the 70s, or I suppose you like them in the 90s. Now, the thing about this one is I got this from my daughter as a Christmas gift. I'm not going to take it out because it's just too much of a pain to put all back together. But my favorite Pink Floyd album is it is the Division Bell. And I know everybody likes Dark Side of the Moon and all that kind of stuff, but there's just something about this. Listened to it lots when I was in school, when I was in university and things like that. And my favorite song by Pink Floyd by a mile is the combo of Take It Back and Coming Back to Life. There's just something about those songs coming together. And Coming Back to Life, to me, it has 2 fantastic guitar solos. One of them is about halfway through, and then one of them is the outro, and it is just absolutely fantastic to me. I'm not saying that I don't like Animals and Dark Side of the Moon and all of that kind of stuff. And in fact, A Momentary Lapse of Reason, the mid 80s one, is kind of a quirky one, and it's got some really good stuff on it too. But this is like the post Roger Waters fiasco and all that kind of stuff. And I think what it is just because because the Division Bell was my intro to Pink Floyd, I think it's why I like this album particularly. I know there's a lot of people that would say High Hopes is a better song, but I just find the guitar solos in Coming Back to Life are just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Coming Back to Life and Take It Back, kind of the combo, because I think it's Take It Back and then it feeds into Coming Back to Life, if I remember right. Yeah.
Cool, mate. Nice.
Good choice.
When I was in just leaving high school, secondary school year, that album was everywhere on CD. Every shop you went to, HMV, like you used to have Virgin Mega stores over here. It was kind of it was just posters of it everywhere. You couldn't kind of escape it. And as a kid, you think, "What the hell is that?" And then as you get older, you realize then who Pink Floyd were. So yeah, cool, mate. And Spencer saying that was my first Floyd album that I purchased. Fantastic band and album. So there you go. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good.
Richard.
I'm up. All right, we're going to come back to the United States. We're going to come to one state over from where I grew up. So this is a band that started in Minneapolis. The lead singer is actually from New York. But anyway, started out in Minneapolis. Fairly hard-hitting punk vibe, if you will. And one of my favorite bands, it's Husker Du. Lead singer is Bob Mould. The drummer is Grant Hart, who sadly is no longer with us. And bassist Greg Norton, who now is in a band called Ultra something. I just saw him a few months ago. I'm getting old, I swear. Husker, this was the first Husker Du album I really got going into on the strength of the song Makes No Sense at All. And it's just one of those hard hitting, grinding punk overload type songs, tons of guitars. It's just super, it just gets in your head and it sticks. It was also, a video from the album that came up on MTV down the line. That sold me on Husker Du and their next album and the one after that. And I've ever since learning about Husker Du, I've followed everything Bob Mould has done to this day, including his newest album, which is probably going to be in my top 10 for the year too. But if there's any album I could say, you want to figure out more about Husker Du, Flip Your Wig is a great starting point, as is New Day Rising. Zen Arcade is an earlier album, but it's kind of a concept album, and it's a little weird, double sprawling 2-record set thing. This is a little bit more up front and kind of defines what Husker Du's kind of jangling guitar and intensity, coming from a trio is pretty impressive. So yeah, Husker Du, Flip Your Wig, favorite song, Makes No Sense. And yeah, Bob Mould still does that song pretty much every concert I've ever seen him, and I've seen Bob Mould a lot. So if that's
I'm gonna write that one down too, because you talk about Husker Du quite a bit. For some reason, every time I think Husker Du, and I know they're not the same because you've mentioned that they are definitely got some punk in them and stuff. But every time I see the name and stuff, there's a Canadian band. I don't know if you're familiar with Sven Galley or not, but they just the name Husker Du and stuff like that. It just kind of, but I know they're not the same.
Yeah, Husker Du, super strong, super punk. They only lasted for a few albums. Well, they have several albums, but the vibe kind of gets progressively, I'm not going to say it's toned down, but once they got signed to Warner Brothers, a lot of people say it was the era of like a band goes from a small label like SST to Warner Brothers, you sold out. Kind of like how REM was on one label, they went to Warner Brothers, they sold out. That was kind of an epidemic of that, and it became kind of a division point for the band, and they started falling apart.
Yeah. Okay. That would be a really cool topic, for some kind of a live stream things. Bands that apparently sold out.
Ooh, there's a lot of them.
Stop giving him ideas. Right.
Yeah. Where are my post-it notes?
Cool. Right, I think I'm up next. Okay, let's go British royalty, shall we? And it is Queen. And my favorite Queen song of all time is Hammer to Fall. I absolutely love that song. I discovered that song when they did it at Live Aid.
Oh.
And it was just amazing, and it just grabbed me, and I was like, I absolutely love this song. You've got the hits, this is the greatest hits volume 2. But I love Hammer to Fall. I don't know what it is. It's at the bottom end.
Yeah.
But I love Hammer to Fall. Don't know what it is. And my girlfriend's kid, Aled, every time he comes on, he's there doing impressions of Freddie and guitaring and on his knees, and it's like, go on, give it hell.
I would have never thought of that song, because I was telling you earlier, it's like Queen was one of the ones there'd be no way in hell I could choose a favorite, because there are too many.
Yeah.
And it changes probably anytime I go down that Queen rabbit hole to play this album or that album. It's like, oh yeah, that's my favorite song. So it's just too
Queen is one of those bands, kind of like the whole Bruce Springsteen thing, where you ask 10 different people, they're going to give you 10 different answers of a favorite song or a favorite album or whatever it is. Mine is I don't even own it on vinyl. Mine is Too Much Love Will Kill You. That's my favorite Queen song.
Yeah.
And the one that the last music video he did before he passed away there, what's the name of that song?
Oh,
Who Wants to Live Forever?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really good one too.
and
But
then they released
that one
Heaven.
there is that one there. You got to be in a pretty sad mood to be listening to too often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Don't know. Maybe the lads can answer this. I'm not quite sure what year it was. 82. Chris, was that the concert Queen were amazing? Was it 82? I can't remember. Well,
offhand, I don't remember. I just remember Live Aid that it was huge.
okay.
It was
It
80
was either
something.
82 or 85. I can't remember all those. Lots of different bands.
Yeah. Spencer was
Yeah.
saying he likes Keep Yourself Alive.
I'll go with that one too. That's a good one.
Terry saying Spread Your Wings is mine.
Spread your wings. I love that album. That was say News of the World is one of my favorite Queen albums. Full stop.
He thinks it was 85. We'll see.
85. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Where are we going? So many comments here. Reg,
Oh, is it me? I'll go.
is it? No, hang on. Is it you? Was it? No. Sorry. Daryl.
Daryl
Caught him off.
Daryl thought he had a break. Ha!
Got like grease on my nose. I got to get off oily nose.
Oh yeah, I know. My glasses do that.
My
But,
face.
yeah.
Anyway, here we go. We're gonna continue with the '90s for the next. Oh man, at least the next three I got here. So we're gonna go to Daryl's anger management music of the '90s.
Oh, goody.
So my favorite. Now this is a band that every time I hear it, I'm not saying I think this every time, but I know that there are times when I go, Richard, you jerk. You've been seeing these guys a lot, or at least once that I know of for sure. This is definitely my favorite rock, math rock, alternative rock, whatever you want to call it. And apparently they're not in studios, but they're coming up with ideas for their next album.
Ooh.
Tool's Undertow is a great album if you want like really heavy stuff. Little story behind this. I mentioned this on Rob's show a few weeks ago that and I think I mentioned it on yours too, maybe Chris, that when I was growing up, my mom used to work in a clothing store, and then I bought this on cassette tape, or I should say she bought it on cassette tape.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool because I was in grade 9, and my mom was like, are you sure? I don't know if I want to give you this explicit lyrics thing and all this kind of stuff. Well, when I would listen to this album, my favorite song has the most explicit lyrics of all on this. And it's a song called The Swamp Song. And it's just, oh man, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. That when this album came out through my mid-high school days, like I wouldn't say I was an angry kid, but I would say that there were some things that some of my quote friends would say or they were doing and stuff like that. And I was just like, you guys are just jerks. You're not really my friends. So I would take it out not by throwing things, not by punching walls, but by listening to Tool Swamp Song on the Undertow thing. And I mean, to me, this is just that alone is a terrifying looking back to a cover, a wild boar over top of some pronged forks and things like that. But, I mean, Intolerance is another one I could say is possibly one of my favorite songs off this album, but Swamp Song by far is one of my favorite Tool songs. And anybody that's got their follow-up album on vinyl, an original OG copy of Anima, whoa, that's some crazy stuff there, but you're paying a pretty penny. But yeah, no, Tool is my favorite alternative rock band. I think they've kind of gone a little bit more. I don't know how proggy you would say they are, but they definitely have some prog elements to them, math prog maybe. But I had recently read an article that they were also not in studio, but the band members have kind of come back to collaborate and get some ideas for the next album. So I don't know how much longer we're going to see Tool, though. I just can't see Maynard and the guys keeping up. I mean, these aren't guys that are going to go on like the Rolling Stones. They're not going to be 80 years old playing that kind of music. So, but yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
like,
Swamp
wow.
Song.
Cool. So Terry was saying Live Aid was July 13th, 1985.
Okay, it was 85.
There you go. Okay, cool. Let's get back on track. Richard, it is your turn.
I'm gonna stick with the Husker Du thing because I think Daryl probably needs to check out this album too. So this is Husker Du broke up. Bob Mould went solo for several albums. Then he formed another band, and the band was called Sugar. And if there's any album, Sugar only did 3 albums, a live album that was kind of released later, and a B-sides album. But Copper Blue is where to start, in my opinion. Just for the starting song alone, because of its ferocity, it's just like, it's in your face. It's power pop, but in your face power pop. And the song is called The Act We Act. It's the very first song on this album. And I just remember I think I bought this on, I know I bought this on CD when it first came out. Hit play and it just hit like a wave. It's like big, huge guitar chords. And then Bob Mould comes in and it's one of those building songs where it's just like, wow. By the middle of the song, you're just going, so good. And it just gets better. This album kind of was a farm for a lot of hit songs. Hoover Dam was big. If I Could Change Your Mind is big. What else is on here? A couple of others. But then there's kind of a companion EP to this album called Beaster, which is the most just what I call Dark Bob. There's Happy Bob and Dark Bob. And Dark Bob is this kind of it really gets under your skin, and he's not happy. And then Beaster is a beast of an EP, but it's fantastic. But Copper Blue is probably like, you want to try out Sugar, check out Copper Blue. It is probably it's much lower key than Husker Du as far as like punk intensity goes, because this is more of a power pop vein. But so good. So good. A lot of people say this is like, oh my God, so yeah, Sugar, Copper Blue, and they always come back to this one. So it is a great album. Not terribly hard to find on vinyl either. There's a bunch of different variations of it. This one's a double album that has Beaster as the second album that's all together in one package. There was a Record Store Day issue. I have way too many copies of that album.
It is now entered into my notes on my phone. That's what I was doing there.
I did my good deed for the day.
Hey, Daryl, you should get one of those whiteboards behind you with a permanent marker and just write down what you've done. Cool, very cool. Right, okay. Back to me. So it's got an American band. Now, I don't know how many people know this. I used to work on cruise ships in America, and this band was on my iPod, iPod Classic back in the day. And I love this band. I kind of think they broke up and they kind of back together. I'm not quite sure the backstory, but anyway, it's the Fray.
From Denver.
Here we go, and it is called How to Save a Life. And in the UK, this was everywhere. You couldn't escape.
Really?
Yeah, it was massive over here. Yeah, massive. So, but it's a good album though. It is a really good album. Another one, Over My Head, Cable Guy, How to Save a Life, Fall Away, Look After You was another big one. Not as big as How to Save a Life, but yeah, it's. I'm trying to work out when this actually came out. To be honest, it's not giving me any details because obviously this is a reissue because they never came out on vinyl. But yeah, it's the Fray, How to Save a Life. And this was an Amazon exclusive. Came out on yellow vinyl. So,
nice.
Yeah.
I've had a hard time getting into the Fray because it just reminded me too much of Coldplay. And I was I'm kind of on Coldplay, and I'm kind of on the Fray. The Fray opened for U2 when I saw them on the 360 tour here in Denver. Okay. And I think that was one of their last shows. I think they just called it quits after that, if I remember right.
Cool.
I don't know why the Fray always remind me of Snow Patrol.
Yeah, similar vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, How to Save a Life is a great song. When I first started teaching well, not first started, but midway through my teaching career, like all the kids were listening to that stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. Okay. The Vinyl Channel. So look, The Fray is great. Have that album. Yeah, it is good. It is good. And Spence was saying, just subscribe to Richard's Vinyl Tap House and Northern Vinyl Guy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, right. Are we caught up?
I think it's me.
Okay.
Something like that.
Let's have a look.
Sure.
So I just the chat is going nuts. So I'm glad there's only 3 of us.
Oh,
on
you
tonight.
you finished the chat. Don't worry about me. Finish the chat. All right, these next two, I'm not going to do a double, but I'm not going to do a twofer. But my next two are Canadian. Now this next musician, if Rob was on here, he'd have a story. One of his probably in the last year most memorable moments for him was meeting this musician and getting to meet him. I like him both when he was with his band and when he does it as a solo album. So we're looking at Tom Cochrane and his Mad Mad World album. Now, when most people think of this album, they think Life is a Highway, which then, of course, was featured in the Cars movie by Rascal Flatts and stuff like that. And I remember well, not this album, but that song, Life is a Highway, it was all over Canadian radio. I think this was 93, if I'm remembering right. But it was all over Canadian radio. And my brother used to own this on CD, and he would play it endlessly all the time. And there is a track on here called Sinking Like a Sunset. And there's just something about it. It's a really nice vibe. I would say that, in my opinion, poetically or lyrically, it's a really strong song by Tom Cochrane. And it's not like the heavy rock stuff that he often did in the 80s and the 90s. It's hard for me to explain why. It's kind of like some of the ones you showed earlier, Chris. I'm having a hard time figuring out why I really like Sinking Like a Sunset, but there's just something about it that when it comes on, I'm not switching the radio channel for me.
Okay.
I like Life is a Highway. If I'm on the highway, I'm flowing by. But sometimes if it comes on, I mean, I'll switch it because I've heard Life is a Highway so many times that it's kind of one of those songs. It's like there's others like with Bryan Adams. We've heard this before on some channels that there's just some songs that are so overplayed that you get tired of them, and I think Life is a Highway is like that. But Sinking Like a Sunset is fantastic. And there's actually another track, I think it's the last track on here, it's called All the King's Men, completely acoustic. Oh man, check them out. That's all I'll say. Check them out. They're really good stuff.
The only one I know is Life is a Highway. I gotta be honest.
Well, I knew of Red Rider, so because I had the Don't Fight It album at one point, and
Red Rider is really good. And once again, there's a whole here in Canada, like a lot of people, they would debate what their favorite Red Rider album is. Now, if you're a fan of Tom Cochrane and Red Rider, you'd know Boy Inside the Man, or Big League is another big one. Those went, I think, top 40 in the US maybe, but
cool.
Everybody seems to know Life is a Highway.
Yeah,
I guess the first one would come to mind. It's like, oh, I know that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let me just check chat here. You could hire someone to manage your Windows. What do you do in the show?
We've had that conversation, haven't we, Chris?
Yes, we have. Yes.
Yeah. That's the one thing about live streaming is managing the chat versus the panel. It's a tough gig.
Lunatic Fringe is a really good album, really good song, I should say.
Spencer's asking, this is Northern Vinyl Guy Daryl. I've seen July Talk from Canada a few times. They are great live, a little strange presence on stage, but entertaining.
True. I know of July Talk too.
Right. If you're going my way, I want to drive it all night long. And then I don't think Lunatic Fringe charted at all.
Oh.
So. I don't think it charted, not in the US, that's for sure. Might have charted a little bit here in Canada. But it's a great song. If you haven't heard Lunatic Fringe, man, that's edgy. I would call it edgy.
Cool. Very cool. Right.
Fair enough. All right. For those who don't know, I live in Denver. I didn't always live in Denver. I've lived all over the place. But when I lived in Colorado Springs in the early 90s, and grunge had just become like all the rage, and I was really into Pearl Jam. I was really into Alice in Chains. Went to Lollapalooza 92, saw Pearl Jam, the Soundgarden, and Ministry, and all of those. But my first concert at Red Rocks was Stone Temple Pilots on the Purple tour.
Oh, now we're cooking.
And oh my word, what a good show that was. Not only because it's at Red Rocks and I'm like, in awe of the atmosphere that just surrounds Red Rocks. It was Stone frickin' Temple Pilots on this album. This is probably my favorite album by them. This also has a bunch of songs on here. There were 3 singles off of this album. Interstate Love Song, which I really do love. Big Empty, but my favorite song is probably their shortest songs, Vaseline. I absolutely love that song. It just had that jam and vibe that just sold me on Stone Temple Pilots. I mean, I picked up their first album when it first came out, and I love that whole one, Plush, and all of the songs that came off that. But yeah, interesting. I saw Scott Weiland when he formed Velvet Revolver. I saw them live. It was one of the last concerts before Scott Weiland was gone. He looked pretty rough in the Velvet Revolver era. But yeah, I was glad to have seen Stone Temple Pilots out of all places, Red Rocks. But yes, good band indeed. They had some bangers. I would love to get a copy of that Tiny Music album, but vinyl copies, and they have like a MoFi edition. It's like $70, and then they have a deluxe edition. It's $70. I'm like, can I just get 1 or 2 album set that cost maybe half of that, and I could buy it?
And then you've got record store day releases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't get me started.
Right. Cool, mate. Cool. Right. My turn. It was going to happen at some point. So let's do it. Stereophonics. And this one is Keep the Village Alive. So after kind of Performance and Cocktail and Jeep, they kind of went downhill slightly, and this is like the comeback album, a bit more rocky. I'll just show you the inside. It's like a drawing from the artist. So that is Kelly and the Stereophonics' street in Comaman, where they used to live. Terraced houses, local town. And this was just on black vinyl. But the one song I was torn with this because I love 2 tracks on you. So I wasn't going to pick the albums I usually pick because I thought everybody's seen those albums. But C'est La Vie. It is so upbeat. They always start their concerts with this song, C'est La Vie. Daryl, go and check that song out. It's brilliant. It's very rocky. You'll love it. C'est La Vie. I'll make it. There you go.
Daryl's gonna have a lift a mile long by the end of this live stream.
Well, I just added July Talk to this because I totally forgot about that band. And now C'est La Vie, it's not a cover of Robbie Neville, is it?
No, not it. This is a good album. This is. You got like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He's talking about how his mate he was a bank manager and he was on an affair with this woman. They used to meet up every weekend, so they put their name down as Mr. and Mrs. Smith as fake names. It's kind of a good track, that one. And I Want to Get Lost with You, which is mine and Liz's song. So there you go. She'll kill me for saying that. But yeah,
we won't tell.
It is now added. It is now added to my phone.
C'est La Vie, really, really good track. So let's have a look. Spencer saying, yeah, good band, Rich. He likes that one. Right. It's after Daryl's taken some notes, it's up to him. There you go.
All right, up next. So I mentioned Canadian bands.
Yep.
This will be my last, I think my last Canadian band of the day. No. I got another Canadian musician coming up. Holy, I went all Canadian today. That's crazy.
And I did
But this one here is
anything.
actually the only record store day purchase I've ever made.
Ooh.
And
Oh,
it is on, this has been on high replay at my house. I've been playing this lots. It's a band called Harem Scarum out of Canada. And this one here is it's a gatefold. Nice gatefold with the lyrics and everything, the band in there. And they did in the this one even came with I didn't even realize it until recently that it has a poster in it and it's got an autographed card from the band in it. But there is a song that is on here called Honestly, but there's also another one called Slowly Slipping Away. Now, I would classify this as kind of I don't want to call it hair metal band because that's not what they are. They're not hair metal, but I would say that they've got at least on side one on this. The second side is definitely much harder, but it's like that late '80s, early '90s rock ballad kind of thing. Be how I would explain this. So your Motley Crue rock ballads, your Guns N' Roses rock ballads, that kind of stuff. Harem Scarum, kind of Canada's version of that, maybe. But Slowly Slipping Away is a great song. The only thing that I'm going to have to try to clean this a little better, the only thing that really pisses me off about this record store day purchase is that there's a couple of real, like, normally I don't care about clicks and pops, but there's a couple of real bad clicks and pops on the second track. And it's annoying because I just don't like it. But to me, on this is kind of I mean, it's anthology, right? It's kind of a part greatest hits, I guess you would say. But side one is stellar from start to finish on this. So if you haven't checked out Harem Scarum, give them a shot if you like I said, early '90s, that Guns N' Roses, not Guns N' Roses, but like the ballady type stuff, I guess you would say, the rock ballad, the hair metal ballads and things like that. But then if you like it when they kick it into overdrive and they go into like heavier stuff, they do that too. So
cool.
yeah. Slowly Slipping Away is a great song, and Honestly is a great song. Can't really say what's my favorite, but
honestly,
one of the two.
Right. We're caught up on the chat. Okay. Richard.
Oh, so many directions to go with this. I'm trying to kind of give a cross section of like everything I like. That is the sun glare from like sun reflecting off a car outside. And it's like right in my face. So spotlight's on me. But I'm going to go with the Cult. I'm a huge fan of the Cult. Another one of us who is a huge fan is Gav Axman Spin. He and I are kind of like on the same wavelength with the Cult. We have a lot of stuff by the Cult. So choosing, you think with a huge discography that the Cult has, picking one song to say is your favorite would be easy, would be hard. It was pretty easy for me. She Sells Sanctuary from this album, and it was one of their biggest hits. Kind of got them, broke internationally. And also the Electric album that came out after this. But yeah, She Sells Sanctuary is one of those songs I will never get tired of hearing that song. The chorus is infectious, the guitar work is impeccable. It just has that amazing vibe that just makes a good song great, and it nails it. To me now, I've seen the Cult live a few times. They're not up stuff for what they were like in the 80s when they had a very kind of almost psychedelic vibe. And Ian Astbury just kind of, I'm not going to say he blasts through songs, but he just kind of, the precision isn't there anymore. But I do love the Cult. Seen them, a couple of times here in Denver when I used to live in DC too. I saw them there, but Yeah, I would put Ian Astbury sort of on the wanker list a little bit because he tends to get, it was back when I saw him in the late 90s, he would just get just loaded before going on stage. And let's just say it impacted the quality of their live performance just a little bit. But yeah, so The Cult, Love, still my favorite album from them. Not to shit on Electric or anything, but love this album, always have and always will.
I'm saying only now, She Sells Sanctuary, the only one I know, need to give this band a chance. So
yeah, they're interesting. Their early albums had that sort of ethereal rock quality, psyche trippy thing, and then they went kind of into heavy metal land in a way. With Electric, and Rick Rubin produced the record. They did an early version of Electric called Peace, which is pretty good, but Electric is definitely more focused. I do like a lot of songs on their heavier end, but yeah.
Cool, very cool.
What are your thoughts on Rain? Rain is probably my favorite song.
Rain is a great song too, and Nirvana, and there's like 4 or 5 songs off that one that are really good.
Yeah, I would say it's not a perfect album, but a near perfect one.
Agree.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I saw Gav the other day that he was showing. I think he was showing that album. So, or one of them. I couldn't remember which one it was, Rich. The one of them, and I was thinking, I'm sure Gav has shown that.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's shown many box sets and.
So, Aerosmith. And believe it or not, my favorite Aerosmith song of all time is Jaded.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I tell you for why, because I was in college and it was at the time Jaded was big. And I did have it on CD because it was I think it was like a female robot with Marilyn Monroe kind of skirt coming up and it's kind of weird. And I was like, what's this? There was this weird stuff. But I picked up, this is, won't come to any surprise, this is the best. This is the best of Aerosmith. There's the band, pretty cool inside. And colored vinyl.
Ooh, that's pretty.
That's a nice one.
Had a good deal on this. Actually, this was an eBay. There we are, Rich. We were talking about this on Richard's live stream on Friday. I got this from eBay in America, and this came with free shipping. So it's we were talking about shipping on Friday, weren't we, Rich? Kind of like how prices and that kind of stuff, and it was But I've been quite lucky on eBay, and I found sellers on there. But like me and Rich were talking on Friday, like, do they realize they've got to ship? Because what it is, if they're coming from America, they got to go from America to London, London to Bristol, Bristol to Cardiff, Cardiff to Swansea, Swansea to Tenby, where I live. It
takes about 4 weeks to get to you.
Let's have a look at the chat real quick. Okay. Love
in an elevator. Yeah, that'd be high on my list too.
I went with my parents. I don't know which year it was. Anyway, Aerosmith have got a ride in Universal Studio, or used to have, and Love on an Elevator was the song for the ride. So yeah. So look, I think everyone has an Aerosmith track they like. Very easy listening, good band. Yeah, I agree. Got to be Sweet Emotion for me.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Tyler. Going down. Crazy is my favorite. Yeah, it's another good one.
Crazy is my favorite one too. Yeah.
I love Jaded because that introduced me to Aerosmith, because I think I missed, of my age gap, I kind of missed them. And then as the years go on, you see, Run DMC with them, Walk This Way and that kind of stuff, and you get more into them. And then when this come up, I was like, well, this is good. Because I did have a look for the album Jaded, and I remember speaking to Rob, because Rob's got it, and he's like, good luck getting this, because it's
Fun.
yeah. So yeah, cool. Right, I'm good on the chat. So, Daryl, what you got, mate?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna head to America for this next one. Now I know Richard, I don't know if you've shown this band on your channel. I know that you do like them. And I know that Vinyl Sean for sure has shown this on his channel. And I've even done a 3-part. Was it a 3-parter or did I do them all in one video? Anyway, I went through their 3 albums track by track and kind of discussed it. Bruce Hornsby and the Range is probably my favorite American band. This is the last album they did, a night on the town. I should take it out. This is a bit of a foggy kind of plastic on there, but A Night on the Town is probably my favorite Bruce Hornsby and the Range album. They only did 3 before Bruce went solo. And I mean, I could have went with a whole pile of different songs off of here. Fire on the Cross is an amazing song. Goes over some really tough stuff that was going on in North America at that time, dealing with racism and things of that nature. But my favorite song that's on here is Across the River. And this kind of comes back to, remember earlier in the show, I had talked about living in a small town and how there's some difficulties and stuff like that. And the song really is about a person who leaves a small town because they might have got caught up in whatever they were doing. And so they earned a bad reputation for themselves. And then they clean themselves up and then they go back to the town. And when they go back to the town, everybody still views them in the same light, that they're just this person who is always partying or doing whatever it is. And I can relate to that, you know, I will go back to my hometown that I grew up in, but the reality is that the culture of the town I grew up in is not what I would want to go back to all the time. And I think that he does a really good job, Bruce Hornsby, of addressing social issues in mass quantities. We could look at you know, The Way It Is album. He's got all kinds of songs on there that are fantastic. And little known fact, he even collaborated on a few songs with Jerry Garcia. Jerry Garcia played guitar on some of his songs. Sean Colvin is also, I believe, on, yeah, there's a song on here called Lost Soul. So if you're familiar with Sean Colvin, she did that song Sunny Came Home. I think it was in the late 90s. And yeah, no, just great stuff. Across the River though is fantastic. If you can relate to, I guess, living in a small tough town, you'll relate to that song, and I think that's why I like it. Harbor Lights, amazing album, and you know what? I want that album so bad on vinyl, but to find that, I think he released that in '92 or something like that, and on Discogs, we're talking pretty penny for that album. And usually when they're selling it, it's in VG or V, or sorry, G, I should say. Like, it's not in the greatest condition, but Harbor Lights is, yeah. That is a grail for me, that one there. That's a grail I want to get.
Cool, mate.
You can do it. I would say The Way It Is probably my favorite of his. And that album you showed, I've never seen that album before in the wild ever. So,
you know, I think Richard, so the one that I like, Across the River, I think is the only single that went top 40. I think it's the only one, and because the album that he did before this is the one that he has a cover of Jacob's Ladder on it, Huey Lewis and the News. So yeah, that's the only one I think that went there.
Is that one right, Daryl? 1993. I Am a Honk. Could be wrong.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
It was either 92 or 93. Yeah, Mandolin Rain. Great song.
Forgot about that one. That's good.
And his piano, like, that's the other thing about Bruce Hornsby that I just really, I'm not a huge piano guy, but the way he does it, it's really good.
That's Chris frozen? Oh dear. Oh wait.
No, it's not me.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not me.
I'm fine.
Is he back, Daryl?
Yeah,
Phil's
I'm
there.
good.
Are you there?
Right, okay. Right.
Frozen.
He just kind of froze
Frozen
then.
on your end. I don't know.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Right, okay, good. Okay. 93. Yeah. Okay. Let's crack on. Let's go to the tap house with Rich. What you got, mate?
Howdy. So after this live stream, a couple hours later, 3 hours later, I think, I'm doing another live stream on A is for Alice, B is for Bob, talking about this guy
There you go.
ad nauseum. They pretty much asked me to come on and talk about my Gary Newman collection, which is, quite frankly, my Gary Newman collection is quite insane. I have a lot.
Really?
Yeah, just a few. But a hell of a lot of CDs, and then I finally got caught up on vinyl when vinyl came back into popularity. But anyway, this was not my first Gary Newman album. It was my second, and the first one was "The Pleasure Principle" with "Cars," which is Gary Newman's signature song, if you will. But for my money, go to Replicas, which was Tubeway Army. In America, they put the Gary Newman tagline on there so people knew who the hell it was related to, because Tubeway Army was not. This came out after, in the United States, this came out after Pleasure Principle, if I recall correctly, because that's the order I bought it in. The song on this is Our Friends Electric, and it was huge in Britain. The song, I can't even say the song even charted in the United States, but for me, as far as like the atmosphere and definition of what Gary Newman's music is all about, is way more than just Cars, which I think is kind of a too simple form of synth pop.
Yeah.
And Our Friends Electric is like a story. It's like a sci-fi story of these androids called friends, and yeah, there's a whole storyline that pretty much follows this picture where he's looking out the window. There's a gray man in smoking a cigarette, it's atmosphere for days. And I played that song to death, but to this day I still love that song. So I would say that is my very favorite Gary Newman song off of the Tubeway Army album called Replicas. Check it out. It is amazing. Down in the Park was a huge single off of this one in the UK. When Newman went on Saturday Night Live, I think it was 1980 or 79, he did Cars, and then he also did Praying to the Aliens, which is a song off of Replicas. So that was my introduction to Gary Newman way back when, and I've been a fan ever since. And he just released a huge live album that is just absolutely epic.
Yeah. I was just looking at Terry's comment with there. Gary Newman has 23 live albums with another one due this year.
And the live one the new one just came out. So yeah, Ian over at Ranking the Obscure was trying to did a rank order of 22 of its live albums. And I go, Ian, you know that he just has a new one coming out. You have to do this all again. And he was like, yeah, no. The man has as many, if not more. I think I've lost count. I think his studio albums to live albums numbers are matched. He has about 23 or 24 studio albums and 23 live albums. It is ridiculous, but
yeah. Right. Let me go through the comments here.
Down in the Park is fantastic.
Yeah.
Down in the Park, it's amazing. Yes, like your Styx collection. I've heard a lot about your Styx collection, man.
He says, I just got one Gary Newman album. Liz says hi. Hi, Liz.
Hello.
Gary Newman, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And another artist I don't know a great deal about. You follow Richard's channel, you soon will. Right?
Yeah, my most viewed video is my where to start with Gary Newman. It's like 2,000 views, which is pretty good for my channel.
Go check it out. It's pretty cool. Right, okay. I'm going to pick something completely different. tonight because
And now for something completely different.
yeah, I guarantee none of you have got this. So this artist, it's Mr. Post Malone. This is before he went country. So this is kind of, I remember saying to Liz, because this means more to me because this was the first holiday we went on to, first vacation. We went to the Canary Islands to Lanzarote, and this album was kind of everywhere. And then after this, he went full on country, which I love that album as well. I think it's brilliant. And the guests he's got on there is fantastic. I love the inside of this. This is bonkers. This is literally his truck.
Oh, wow. He must be in love with this truck.
Yeah, I think he does. And my favorite one on here is Chemical. So, and then it is right there. Not what you were expecting me to show, I know. And this came on an amazing kind of green
It's pretty cool.
album. It's quite funny actually. So he's got cans of Bud Light. He's got a pair of ripped short jeans. And then on the first side, he's got him sitting by the pool.
Good
and then
Lord.
his truck. So, yeah. So that's
The Redneck album.
yeah. Yeah. So I remember saying to Liz about this. I was like, I was listening to that album. I said, I guarantee you the next album's going to be a country album because it was more of him singing that kind of going into that kind of genre before. But this is a brilliant album. I love it. But yeah.
That's really good. I like Circles. Circles is a great song.
Yeah, I've actually got the greatest hits as well, which he brought out and then he went country. So he's covering
Is Circles on that one?
No, I don't think it is, mate, to be honest. No, it's not on that one. So you had the big ones, you were Chemical, Morning, Too Cool to Die, Enough is Enough, Texas Tea, Landmine, no, Laugh It Off, no. Because Circles, I think, was the album before this, I believe, I think. But I picked up his greatest hits. It cost me £10 on Amazon for the greatest hits now on. And I didn't show the greatest hits because I thought I got enough greatest hits to show. So I thought I'll go with an actual album tonight. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Are we doing for time? Okay. Okay, Gary Newman, about. Yeah, it's a good album, Chris. At least somebody agrees. even if the panel are going, what the hell is he showing you? So yeah, okay, cool. I'll wait for Daryl to come back, and then I think I'll call it that.
Just dealing with some noise.
That's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Right, Daryl, it's up to you, mate.
Well, Richard, you were talking about musicians. Gary Newman that has an extensive collection. This is the only artist I have in my whole discography where I have every record that he did, I believe. I might be missing one, but so many of you know, if you've watched my channel, that I'm a huge Gino Vanelli fan. Canadian musician, 1970s mainly, but also the 1980s as well. I would call it soft pop, little bit of jazzy tones to it. But this one here, what year is this? I think this is the wrong album. I'm thinking of a different one. Anyway, he does a song called Wild Horses. Wild Horses is an amazing song from 1985, 86. But on this one, what's on this one? Living Inside Myself, 1981. This is a great song. So between Living Inside Myself and Wild Horses, definitely my favorite Gino Vanelli stuff. Now, the one with Wild Horses on it, I can't remember the name of the album. I had to replace it. I actually bought it off of Discogs. It's the only Discogs experience that went negative and south for me. When the album actually got here, the post office asked me if I wanted to return it. It was so
Whoa.
damaged. The packaging was so damaged, and I was like, I didn't pay that much for it. I'll handle it. Sure enough, there was an edge warp on it that was so bad that it went 3 songs in. So I had to replace it, and
Geez. Wow.
I managed to find it. But Gino Vanelli is by far one of my favorite Canadian solo musicians. If you like I said, if you like soft jazzy pop, 1970s stuff, but he also does some, I don't want to call it heavier stuff, but a little bit of rock music and stuff like that. So Wild Horses, if you have a chance to check it out, really good song by Gino Vanelli.
Cool.
Good one.
Cool, mate. Right. Richard, over to you, mate.
All right. I'm conflicted which one to do, but I think I'm going to start with this one. So this is a band known for one of those debut albums that could be a greatest hits in and of itself, which came out in the late 70s. And I'm talking about the Cars.
Right.
So the Cars debut album is one of those ones where every single song is good. There's no filler. It's 100% solid. It could be considered their greatest hits album. But for my money, yes, I love that album. I love all of those first several Cars albums. But then this came out, which is Heartbreak City, and the song Drive. Oh my gosh. It's like a crushingly amazing song. There is our gatefold, and this is one of those really super cool albums that almost turns into something totally different when you look at it in this angle. I don't think I've ever seen it from like this. I'm like, wow, that's really freaking cool. But yeah, the song Drive sounds like nothing the Cars ever did. And I don't know if it was just that it's like, let's do a very different song. And it's a very dark song. Yeah, who's going to drive you home tonight? But it just the whole atmosphere of that song, it just takes you to like midnight on a road in a car, and you're just like, ooh, it's not a tough listen, but it's just a gorgeous song. I love Drive. So Drive is probably most definitely my favorite from the Cars off of the Heartbeat City. My bad. Sorry. But yeah. And that one came to me kind of like lightning when I was going through my record collection. It's like, oh, I should pull the Cars. And I went, oh, that one. So yeah, Drive is a classic. 12-inch single. If I could find Drive on a 12-inch single, I would pick it up immediately. Their albums are pretty interesting. They just went through such a progression over their career. The first 3 Cars albums are, I would say, the first Cars album clicked with me immediately. Candy-O still hasn't clicked with me too much. I think Panorama the third.
I think so. Candy-O is a hard one to get into. That's really hard.
There's just nothing about it that grabs. It's not immediate at all. And Panorama has a couple of good songs, but yeah, that in Heartbeat City as a whole,
they're definitely one of those bands that if you have, like I have the greatest hits.
I do.
They're one of those bands that if you don't want to go all full on in their collection, you're better off just with that greatest hits album.
100%. I agree with that.
And Drive is on it, and Drive is an amazing
song.
Yeah.
Terry saying absolute classic. And then Spencer saying Drive was my first 12-inch single bought for me aged 11 years old.
Ooh, you're a mature 11-year-old.
Yeah, and then Jack saying Candy-O is...
Yeah, Jack, get that debut album. I mean, it's just loaded with classics. Or the greatest hits.
Cool. Right, okay. It's back to me. Do you want like a pop, or do you want rock? What do you fancy, guys?
Well, let's go rock.
Rock. Gonna watch these next month in Cardiff. It's the freaking Offspring.
Ooh, fun.
Big in late 90s, 2000s, had a good run. I've listened to their new albums. It's not really connecting with me, but I prefer the older stuff, if I'm being honest. This came up on Amazon for like £11, I want to say. So yeah, good one to have. And I think I've shown this one before. Remember I said to you about I bought a picture disc because it was so good. And it sounds like shit. Because it's just doing that. But I had to pick this up. I thought it looked
That
cool.
is cool.
I even been thinking about framing this. So I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's crap. It's crap. But the album itself, which is much better, thank goodness, is on blue vinyl.
Ooh, better.
So yeah, cool. And my favorite song that they ever did. Any guesses? Let's go the top ones. Come on. Any idea?
Come out and play.
No, it's not coming play. It is "Want You Bad."
No.
I want you all tattooed. Yeah, and you could have picked "Brief Life for a White Guy" and original Prankster, and there's so many. But yeah, so
Self-Esteem is a really good one too.
Yeah. Have a good one, mate.
Yeah, have a
See you
good
on
one.
Sunday. Cheers, thanks. So yeah, The Offspring. Can't wait to see them. It's I saw them in Brixton Academy in London, and the support act was the All American Rejects. Now we're
That would
going
be
way
That'd be good. I saw Peter at Brixton Academy. How about that?
Oh yeah, cool, mate. We caught it on the chat. I think we are. What's Paul saying? Disco.
Disco.
Right. Okay. Daryl, what you got, mate?
All right, here we go. We'll go with I'm gonna do a band, and then for my next pick, I'll go with one of the solo artists for this. But off to the UK we go. I'm gonna look at some Mike and the Mechanics.
Oh, what an album!
Love it, and I'm going with the title track, "The Living Years." "The Living Years" is it's a song resonates with me, and I don't know, man. I think everybody should have to listen to that song. I mean, it's talk. I mean, if you're not familiar with the story, the idea that it's too late to say tell people what you truly feel and all that kind of stuff if they're already dead, right? So, but it's a great song. It's been analyzed. It is the album itself is fantastic. Mike Rutherford, Paul Carrick is probably one of my favorite vocalists of all time, and I'm going to talk about him next on my next pick. But Paul Young, I should grab him too. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this album. It's really good, really good. The Living Years song, fantastic message. Yeah, and it gets you right here, gets you right there in the heart. So, but they're a fantastic band. I love Mike and the Mechanics. I have one of their other ones. I can't remember which one it is. I forget the name of it, but I really got to get a couple of their other ones as well. So
Is the other album where he's sitting by the shore and it's kind of like a yellow background and he's looking into the sea on the beach or something? Because that's I remember on the album covers.
No, it's got like I think it's got like an outline of a face on it or something like that, if I remember right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're really good.
Yeah, I've got the original pressing. My mum had it originally, and I got the original pressing, UK pressing, and she was like, "Yeah, you'll enjoy this," and I was like, "Yeah, I will." And they've just released a greatest hits, so we'll see.
They're amazing though. I just You know, my mom used to listen to it too. My mom used to listen to Mike and the Mechanics. I think she'd follow it up with Genesis's "We Can't Dance" album or something like that. So
Yeah. Terry's saying, living you is an emotional gut wrench.
Just a
Mhm.
little.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Right. Okay. Richard. So what's
Hello.
your mate?
All right. Choices: Ireland or New York?
Well, you've shown quite a. New York. Go on. Let's go New York.
Fair enough. Early punk legend turned more new wave. Actually had a disco hit. Any guesses?
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Right. Okay. Here we go.
Blondie. My favorite album by Blondie. E to the Beat. Sold. I liked Parallel Lines. I didn't love Parallel Lines. Their first album, Plastic Letters, was more punky. I actually didn't get it until much later. But Eat to the Beat has a couple of songs on here I could call my favorite. Dreaming would be probably up there, but I could go with Union City Blue. I could go with The Hardest Part. I can't say there's a bad song on this album. I'll go with Dreaming just for that sort of bridge thing where they really ramp it up to like Dreaming and it just really keep going. Finally saw Blondie at Garbage Open. Blondie headlined and was on their Pollinator album that they did, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that, which was a solid later Blondie album. Apparently, since the death of their drummer, they have started doing a new album. So they're hopefully going to do some new material soon. So, yeah, but this, by far, this came out, and is Atomic on here too? Yeah, Atomic is on this one. So this one was just loaded with hits that were just anything but Heart of Glass. I think they were trying to really distance themselves from being Heart of Glass disco, which I liked. I was fine with that, but this is a much more solid. This is what, if I said where to start with Blondie, please start here and go from there. But yeah, good album.
Cool, mate.
Good
Very,
songs.
very cool. Okay. Let me just catch up.
the only Blondie album I have is that Auto American one.
I love that album too. That was another one I could have probably pulled, except Rapture. Oh, cringy.
Yeah, so I'll give you that. Rapture's that's not
The Man from
not
Mars.
disco,
played-
but it's kind of disco.
Yeah, it is.
Most of us know my thoughts on disco.
Yeah.
Into the
Stay
garbage.
Man alive.
Yeah. Okay. So Jack saying on Blondie is an easy one for me. Ex-offender all the way. Don't think there was a cooler chick on the planet than Debbie at that point.
I'll give you that.
Right. I'm looking at the time here. We will go around whatever you've got left. We will show. Let's do a fast track. I had to show this guy because my favorite artist of all time, Mr. John Mayer. That's what got me into John. And the one I like off you is Heartbreak Warfare. There's so many good ones on here, but yeah. So
Yep. If I owned that album, Heartbreak Warfare.
yeah.
Mm.
Another one, Three Doors Down. Loved this band when they first came out. And there's so many good ones on here. But if I was going to pick one, it would have to be Here Without You. Kind of pathetic, sad song. It's depressing, but I absolutely love it. So there's that one. And I'm going to pick one of Joe's favorite bands now. I think Green Day.
Oh, I thought it was to be AC/DC.
And I went with Time My Life. That's the first time I've heard of Green Day was Time My Life. I was in college and that song came out. One of the shortest songs they've ever done, I think. I think it's like 2 minutes long or something. But then I really got into them and then they were massive with like American Idiot into the 2000s. But yeah, it's Green Day. They got so many good tracks like Basket Case, Minority, Warning. You know, when I was in college, the big album was Nimrod that came out, and of course, Time of My Life, Good Riddance was on that album. So, what did Liz say? Yeah. Oh, turned in just in time for John Mayer. Yeah. Okay. What? Blondie, bloody text. Okay.
We love predictive text. It's our
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, you want to see mine sometimes. Must be
Fade away and radiate. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Right. So that is my selection for this evening. Bit of everything, I think. Mostly kind of late 90s, 2000s music, me. But yeah. Living in that decade.
I only have two. So I'm going to follow up Mike and the Mechanics. Paul Carrick. And the One Good Reason album. I think it's his first. I think it's his first solo album. I'm not sure, 100%. But When You Walk in the Room is a good one. Give Me a Chance is a good one. Don't Shed a Tear is a good one. And Do I Figure in Your Life? I would say for me, Paul Carrick, Give Me a Chance is probably my favorite song of his. It's a really good way to almost end side one. But I mean, all of his top 40 here in America songs, Don't Shed a Tear and all that kind of stuff. It's great stuff. I don't think you hear enough about Mike and the Mechanics and Paul Carrick. And anytime I can promote them, I definitely do. So we'll go with Give Me a Chance. And then I'm showing the Red Dead Redemption soundtrack on red vinyl. There is a song that is on here called That's the Way It Is by a Canadian musician / producer, Daniel Lanois. And the reason that this song, if you haven't played the video game, I mean, it might be hard to kind of understand why I like the song, but there is towards the end, the main character that you play starts to get really sick with tuberculosis, and then it kind of segues into that song, and it's like this slow thing, kind of, he's going to die at the end of the game. And so the song really makes the game transition and flow like that. And it's just a really good song. Like it's got that country and Western kind of twang, but just very, I don't know how to explain it. It's, if you played the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, check it out. That's the Way It Is by Daniel Lanois, the Red Dead Redemption 2 soundtrack. Fantastic.
So Jack is saying, my son plays it, looks amazing. He's never gives me a shot.
No.
And then Terry's saying, was also Squeeze, really tempted.
Yeah, and he also, I like him when he played an Ace too. That song How Long is really good too, when he was with Ace.
Cool.
I always forget about Squeeze. I gotta get Squeeze.
I like Squeeze. I have like a single.
They're so quirky, but they're so good. They're so good.
They are.
Brilliant. Okay, and to finish off this evening, we will go to the Tap House with Richard.
The Tap House. Okay, so I'm going to give you a flight of 5. How about that? Get it? Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, ho.
Arctic Monkeys. Name what song do you think I'm going to choose off this? My favorite.
Dance Floor. I bet you can look good on the dance floor. No?
I like that song. I actually thought it rapidly became overplayed. For me, it was actually the first song I ever heard from them called, if I can find it, sorry, Fake Tales of San Francisco. I freaking love that song. And I think I found it on a CD single before this album came out. And I almost saw them at Reading Festival the year this came out, and they were playing a side stage, but it got so rammed you couldn't get into the tent. So I didn't get to see Arctic Monkeys until further down the road. But Fake Tales of San Francisco. How about Styx? Not only is this probably my favorite Styx album, it was one of my first Styx albums. I love this album. And if anything, it's for the song Renegade, which is an absolute belter of a Styx song. And it'd be like, if you want to hear a Styx song that isn't Come Sail Away or all those others, Renegade off of here. Queen of Spades is a really strong song too. I like their rockers more than their ballady anything. Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense. I like Psycho Killer. I do. I like Once in a Lifetime better. I could. It's one of those songs that comes on. I'm not turning it off. I'm going to turn it up, and I'm singing along. I love that song. Still would love to see them do something else, but who knows? Last one, and Daryl knows this album.
There it is.
Doesn't
There it is.
And I know your favorite song on here is give me Save a Prayer.
Yes, that's a really good song, and my daughter's favorite song because I have two copies, and one of them is my daughter's. Hers is Hungry Like a Wolf.
And that was actually I was tossed between Rio, which I really like because I like the vibes and the videos that they're on the sailboat and all that. Hungry Like the Wolf to me is quintessential Duran Duran's like start there. But yeah, this is my favorite album. Talk about a well-produced album. It's I don't care, you find an old copy or a newer copy, they all sound good because it was so well produced. So that is it. That's way too many favorite songs.
Yeah. Some really
we
good
could probably
picks.
do about 15 more albums too.
We could.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a part 2 going forward.
We could.
Right, let me just go to the comments before I go around to the group. Let's have a look.
You know what, Jack? I almost chose A Certain Romance because I absolutely love that. That's the album closer. But yeah, I went with Fake Tales.
I have Squeeze 5-inch single.
5-inch.
That's tiny. Yeah, that's gonna be what? My goodness.
Yeah.
Do you remember the 3-inch CD singles, the little tiny ones?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So look. I had all the demos from Arctic Monkeys album before the album came out. I knew them so well that the album felt a little too produced. Still loved it though.
I actually agree with that because I'm with you. Whenever I found the download of something Arctic Monkeys, I picked it up, and yeah, some of those early demos are fantastic. So good.
Rio is
Rio's
great.
great.
And good show, guys. Needed to show more Sticks, but Richard saved it with at least one.
I picked that just for you. Just saying.
Part 2. I'll bring up my Sticks part 2. What about you, Chris? Part 2.
It's still part 2. Right, we'll go around the horn. Richard, you done a live stream obviously with me on Friday. Anything coming up?
Nothing really. I'm trying to figure out how to start off my season 2 with some sort of bang rather than just doing here's some new albums I have, which is probably what's going to happen. I'm getting so much stuff this month. I may have to do a 2-part. This is what came in this month because we talked about it on my live stream the other day. But my gosh, September has just been a big new release month, and they just keep coming. So it's probably going to be something around the line of new pickups.
Yeah, it's. I don't think I've ever spent so much money on vinyl, to be honest. The Rhino's got a lot to answer for. But yeah. Great, mates. Daryl, what's going on up there, mate?
Ooh, fortunately, I don't have a record store here in my town. I don't get to spend money, so that's saving.
You're lucky.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, being that talked about this being back to work, it's a little tricky to start making videos and stuff. But I do want to get some of these threads. I have a whole list of stuff that I want to do. I just got to get around to doing it. There's some threads there. There was that numbers thread. There was a few really old ones from about a year to a year and a half ago. I know Randall Weaver had one and MGK Boston had one. I'm not going to do it as a thread, but I'm going to mention them in it because it's a thread from a year and a half ago, but I always wanted to do it things like, 5 albums that you've listened to over 100 times, albums that you listened to when you were 12 and 13, those kinds of things. I was just getting started in the VC, so I didn't really understand how the thread thing worked. But I want to go back into some of those and maybe put a spin on it. So
And
that's where I'm going. I got nothing nothing really going on, actually.
Yeah, it's hard when you work back to work and it's kind of trying to do the channel and you got kids and it's kind of you're trying to balance everything out and try and find time. Yeah. So a quick look. Okay, so good show, guys. Okay, we've done that one. Thanks for a great stream, gentlemen. Good night. Cheers, Jack. Thanks, mate. And
Jack.
oh, we go, Daryl. I'll be doing a part 2 to my compilation albums collection this Thursday. So.
Right on. I could probably do a part 2 as well. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and then Terry says, great stream, guys. Richard, see you on Thursday at RTO. Did you check out that Toto album yet?
Which Toto album? I don't recall. I keep like running lists of everything, but they're all over the house. So I have a lot of Toto. I like Toto. They're a good band.
For me, I've got loads of ones that I've picked up over the last kind of 2 weeks. I got the Rhino that I'm going to do as well. I might skip what I've picked up and just go straight to Rhino pickups, and then it's just like 2 albums. So I might just do that. It'll be quicker and easier rather than trying to do 10 albums. But yeah, we will see. I'd like to thank all my guests this evening for taking their time. Rich, I know you're going on another live stream in a couple of hours. Daryl, thanks for taking your time out because I know how hard it is, mate. Sorry we couldn't make it last week. Bit of an accident, but we are back to normal. And Terry saying the covers album Through the Looking Glass. That was the one, Rich?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a video next week or this week, all depending. We'll see. But we'll go from there. Thanks for everybody who's watched, everybody who's left comments, everybody's watching this later. I'd like to thank all my guests. And we'll catch you next Sunday. Thanks very much for watching, and good night.